Hello, welcome to the Kikarabo YouTube channel. My name is Robin. Thank you for joining me. Today I would like to talk about personal development, wellness, well-being, and how do we navigate this world of personal development when there's just so many options and so many places and so many books and podcasts and retreat centers, wellness places that we can go to. I just want to touch on this decision. So for those of you that are watching me right now, I would probably think you're somebody who's interested in your personal development, you're interested in your wellness, you're interested in your well-being. You could be interested in the wellness and well-being of your family, your community, or even your workplace. That's what Kikarabo is all about. We're about wellness, well-being, and just human beings living better, more balanced, more fulfilled lives, whether it's as an individual, whether it's within the family, or whether it's within the community, but more importantly in the workplace. So how do we decide on the best approach to tackle personal development, personal wellness, well-being for us, for our families? How do we decide where there's just so many resources, books, podcasts I mentioned, there's movies, there's apps, there's magazines even that are wellness orientated. In South Africa, I think there's probably 3 or 4 very, very prolific magazines that are purely focused on wellness and well-being. Where do we focus our attention? Where do we focus our energy? So the reason I'm sharing this is because at the moment, well, let me rewind a little bit. When I started my wellness or well-being journey, my personal development journey, there weren't many options. So it was very easy to choose. It was very easy to kind of figure out who was serious about this, who was just doing it for the money, and who was actually really, who had their heart in it really. So it was very, very easy for me at that time to decide that. Number one, I had family members who had been attending the meditation school that I actually ended up going to. I had a large number of people around me that could give me feedback, and I could see their own success stories unfolding. So it was a very easy decision for me. But nowadays, I've had to reflect. If I was in the position I was 10, 15 years ago today, it would be very confusing and very difficult for me to actually make an easy choice on where to go. So that is why I decided to talk about this today. I welcome your comments below. I welcome any feedback. It would be great for us to have a conversation. Please do reach out to me if there's anything you find that resonates with you in this video today. But also reach out to me if you find that there's something you have a different opinion about. I'd love to hear about that. So on to this topic. The first thing, and actually the main thing I would like to say to all of us that are on these journeys, you out there, whatever choice you make, wherever you decide to go, whatever modality you decide to use, whatever path, whether it's a yoga path, whether it's your religion, whether it is whether it is going to a specific school or reading a specific book or doing a specific course, it doesn't matter what it is you end up doing. The first thing I would say to you is, please make sure you are fully connected and fully understanding of your current reality before you embark on anything. So in other words, do some introspection, do some journaling, do some soul searching ask yourself some questions. What is troubling you at the moment? What are the things that you really feel like you would like to solve in your life? What are your major challenges? What are some of the things you would like to do differently in the future? What are some of the habits that you might not be comfortable with? I know I'm throwing a lot of words at you here, and it's not necessarily for you to draw a list from this, but it's more for you to think about that before you go on any personal development journey. And I'm going to refer to it as a personal development journey henceforth, but I'm talking about anything that has got to do with you building your wellness, your well-being, bettering your life, giving yourself a better fighting chance at tackling this difficult world that we live in. This list, or what I've just mentioned to you now, is more something that I would say you need to do for yourself to actually have a good feel and understanding of where you are at. What is getting you down at the moment? Where are your challenges? Is it diet? Do you feel you need a better diet? Do you feel that your health is really a priority? Do you feel that your relationships are a priority? Do you feel that your finances are a priority? There must be specific areas in your life that you are aware of. Make sure you are very logically connected to that. Make sure you understand some of these things at a very high level, but from a logical point of view. And I keep using this word logical because to me, logic has been my lifesaver. And when I mean logic, I'm talking about common sense. And yes, that is something that is very unique to each individual circumstances, but I'm talking from your perspective, your logic, where you are coming from. Understand what are the big things going on in your life. That is something for me that is extremely important. If you've done a little bit of that type of understanding, introspection, inner work, if you want to call it that, a bit of awareness around that, I would say then would be the time to open yourself up to say, okay, where can I get help with this? And again, when you ask this question, where can I get help with this? The first thing that should come to mind is what would I be comfortable with? Would I be comfortable with going away somewhere? So would I be able to leave my family for a few days? Would I be able to leave my home? Would that still nurture and protect my current situation? I'm using this example because this is something that is the next most important thing. Once you've had this good understanding of what's happening in your life, I call it the lay of the land. Once you have a good idea of the lay of the land, then open yourself up to, okay, what is the answer for me then? What's going to work for me? Again, you need to root yourself and embed yourself in your current logical situation, so that you don't end up embarking on something that is going to mess with the fundamentals of your current life. If those fundamentals of your current life are absolutely broken and you need to remove yourself from those situations, then this is a different story. That's why the lay of the land is so important. Because once you understand these challenges, you understand what some of your issues are, you will know, okay, if I'm going to go on a month-long silent retreat where I'm not allowed access to my phone, I can't talk to anybody, and for example your relationship at that point in time is at a point where it is about to break and you need to actually get away from it in order to potentially save it or make key decisions on it, then yes, this is a great idea. This is what probably would be a good thing for you to do. But if you have a young family, you've just started your family out, you've got maybe small kids, you're part of a support structure for them in terms of looking after these small human beings, then I would say it's probably not such a good idea for you, or such a nice thing for you to pack up and leave for a month, unless there's contingency plans around this. But you would need to assess this for yourself. So when you open yourself to the second part to say, okay, so what am I going to do? Where can I get something that will deal with some of these issues that I think I'm picking up in my life, or some of the opportunities that I'm seeing for myself. If you root yourself in your current reality and see sort of what's working for you, whatever you come across, you're going to know immediately whether it's going to work for you and work for the well-being of your current situation, or if it's going to cause major disruption. Now, this is basically the purpose of this video. That I am terrified of people embarking on personal development journeys who are not rooted in their current reality and make radical decisions and make radical choices that inevitably hurt themselves in the long run, that inevitably break their relationships that might be good for them, but they might be having some doubt around those relationships, but because they've engaged with the wrong resources, engaged with the wrong people's or the wrong perspectives that certain individuals have had, because their reality has been so different to theirs, that they go and make these big decisions that are actually detrimental to themselves. So yes, you might be having a financial issue, but it doesn't mean you need to leave your job. Yes, you might be having a relationship problem. It does not mean you have to end your relationships. You might be having some issues with family members. Doesn't mean you need to excommunicate your parent or your sibling. This is why I feel that it is so important for you to make sure you are really rooted in your current reality. And if that current reality is so toxic and so terrible that you can't even face it, then I understand you're going to need something radical. You're going to need to remove yourself from that situation, which is fine. But please, please do not do anything that is going to mess with what is currently a good thing for you, what is currently a support structure for you, what is currently, something that is actually positive for you. Yes, you might feel like it's not positive right now, and it might seem like it's strained or maybe not going so well, but please, please, please make sure you do your due diligence, because it's going to be far easier for you to nurture your current reality the way it is and bring in some personal development work that sort of fits in your current lifestyle, and then build realizations over time that you can make well-informed decisions and say, okay, maybe this relationship isn't for me, or maybe this job isn't for me, or maybe this area where I'm living is not the right place to live, I need to move. That's a very different process than you out of the blue making radical decisions, going on a personal development journey, realizing that those things that you actually had in your life were actually really good for you, and then trying to pick up the pieces. It's not as easy to pick up the pieces once you've actually made such big radical moves. So if I have to get a little bit spiritual or go into some spiritual jargon about this, please balance your physical reality with the spiritual aspirations that you have. Make sure there's a meeting point between these two aspects of your life. We've got to be physically rooted in this world. We need to be planted here, because this is where we are. This is where we're currently existing. We're not existing on some higher 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimensional plane. We are here in this 3-dimensional place as physical beings with physical relationships with every object and subject around us. And from there, we are exploring this spiritual concept of personal development, becoming happier people, becoming, more loving people, whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. And if you mess around with the physical side of your life, the dense part of your life, and it is not in alignment with where you would like to go, you might find that you actually harm your spiritual well-being too. So let us be very, very balanced between these two. Okay, that's what I wanted to share. This is obviously my personal opinion, but I do believe this to be something that is quite important, especially at the moment where there's just so much, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of information coming out about, this reality that we find ourselves in. And I just want all of us to remember that, yes, there might be a global reality, but maybe back at the ranch in your little corner of the world, things might be a little bit different, and maybe you need a slightly different approach to your personal well-being. So thank you so much for listening in and being with me today and now, and I look forward to chatting to you soon again. Lots of love. Cheers.